Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome for joining us here today. Thank you for tuning in. It is already Friday, the 5th day of June, 2009. We're going to be live here for the next 4 hours. We have Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change founding fame, who confronted one of the Democratic leaders in the state of New York concerning the fact that 9/11 is an inside job and should there be a new investigation. She said yes, and that's made the rounds on Fox and other national news outlets. So I thought we'd talk to Luke Rudkowski, popping in, coming up in about 30 minutes. Then Bob Chapman of the International Forecaster to break down what's happening with the economy this week, the plunging dollar, the exploding price of gold and silver, and now other commodities. The Chinese laughing at little Timmy Geithner, the former New York Fed chairman, now the Treasury chairman, the fox literally guarding the hen house. That is coming up. And then we have Alan Watt joining us to break down the scientific psychological warfare system that we are living under, as well as one of the inventors of a stock exchange system, author, BBC television host, syndicated radio host, economist, Max Keiser will be joining us from Paris today. So a jam-packed Friday transmission. We will have open phones with Bob Chapman, with Alan Watt, and Max Keiser today. And I, of course, will be going over a large stack of important news as well here on the show. This is the type of news I have in front of me. This is out of the Buffalo News. Ruling allows taser use to get DNA, may be nation's first. And we have seen this in many cases of where someone refuses to give a urine sample to the police or to the hospital, and they chain them down and then call in the police, who, in one Florida case, tasered the guy 9 times. And the police chief, well, that was in Miami, defended it and said, yes, this is pain compliance. So we have this big debate about whether waterboarding is torture, when it obviously is in the Army's own field manuals, or then whether even torture itself is bad. Meanwhile, I've got videos from the 1980s of police in Indiana and in California breaking pro-lifers' arms on purpose, and federal judges saying that's good. You sit on a sidewalk at the entrance of an abortion clinic peacefully, we're going to break your arms till bloody bones stick out of your flesh. And that is a good thing. So it's all on record in my film Martial Law. We played that video at prisonplanet.tv when we simulcast in the last 2 hours of the radio show every day. And we have all these cases out there, and I keep explaining to people, torture has been going on since at least the 1960s as policy, and they call it pain compliance or pressure compliance. And so when they say, oh, we're just torture foreigners, baloney. I don't know why they don't call it when they rape someone's 5-year-old in front of them in Abu Ghraib, as the Army admits they do, part of policy. MSNBC, AP, New Yorker Magazine reported on that. I don't know why they don't just call it pain compliance. You see, this is the reality, so we'll cover that when we get back. Internet radio host Al Turner arrested. Sean Hannity's good buddy. And I believe this is a psyop and completely staged. I'll say that on record, so you'll get my take on that coming up. And a lot more. This is the GCN Radio Network. I'm Alex Jones. Infowars.com is the website. Keep it locked in. Big transmission coming up.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Luke Rudkowski coming up. Bob Chapman to break down what's happening in the economy next hour. Alan Watt to break down the psychological dictatorship we live under, what the globalist manipulators are doing to the public, and Max Kaiser, economist, stock market system inventor, BBC TV host, syndicated radio host. Always informative. He'll be joining us in the last hour today. So a big Friday transmission lined up. We will have open phones in the second, third, and fourth hours today. Obviously, the big news, what everybody's been talking about the last 2 or 3 days, is that Barack Hussein Obama attacked anybody and had his handlers and surrogates attack anybody that pointed out that his father was a Muslim Marxist. It's kind of an oxymoron, but that's what he was. That his father hailed as an Arab, that Obama's really Arab. He's less than 10% African. That's on record. You can go look at the big news sites doing his genealogy. Nothing wrong with having an Arab American president. Let's just be honest about it. But see, everything with Obama's a hoax. So you couldn't talk about how Obama was going to be our first Arab or Muslim president that is brought up Muslim, went to Muslim schools. Then his stepdaddy was a Muslim in Indonesia. I mean, it goes on and on and on. All of his daddies are Muslims. And I didn't even make a big deal out of that in my film, The Obama Deception. In fact, we don't even mention it or get into it. We covered that the guy is a big foundation-run operative, a globalist, a liar, that he lied about not hiring lobbyists, that he lied about ending the wars, that he lied about ending torture and giving rights to detainees. I mean, he lies about everything. We list dozens and dozens and dozens of lies in the film. So I didn't touch the big hot-button issue of his birth certificate and how they're hiding the original and how they won't show even a copy of the original. They show a certificate, or his daddy being a Muslim and his stepdaddy being a Muslim and him going by a Muslim name and then changing it, and how his real name's Barry. I mean, this guy is a foundation creation. His mama working for Geithner's daddy, the Ford Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, being a protege of Kissinger. I mean, this is bad stuff. This is New World Order all the way. This is their Excalibur, their secret weapon. After 8 years of the bumbling, fumbling, embarrassing, burnout husk of a drug addict, George W. Bush. This is what they give us. And if you talked about the fact that this guy had Muslim roots, when this is supposedly an 80% Christian nation, I mean, that is a big issue. And it's interesting. I mean, if the guy's really been a Muslim in his life, whatever he is today, that is big, important news, that he went to Muslim madrasas and schools, and that there's all these scores of pictures of him in Muslim dress, and that these reports of him saying he was a Muslim. The fact that they said you couldn't talk about that and it was a conspiracy theory, kind of like they used to say the CFR didn't exist and it was a conspiracy theory, and that now it's big news, and that he's giving speeches in Cairo saying, yeah, my Muslim roots. You see, that's a bait and switch. That's another deception from this guy. You know, I got a call from Psychology Today, which is a big magazine. I'd say every psychologist in the country reads it. The new Priest Guild out pushing that all Americans be drugged, basically, and that all behavior is neurotic and malfunctioning, and that only they can give you salvation, when they, on average, are a group of complete nutcases.
Part 2 coming soon.